There is an epic battle that is set to go on between an immovable object and an unstoppable force. One of them is going to have to give way. And at this point, I have absolutely no idea which way the tilting table of fate has decided to lean. That unstoppable force, well, that would be the ability of Manchester United owner Jim Ratcliffe to not spend any money, and the immovable object would be Daniel Levy, the owner of Tottenham's ability to suck up every dime that's not nailed down. One of those things is going to have to give, because we now have a lawsuit that pits one against the other, right? I obviously saw this headline and decided to, as the ostrich does in times of danger, stick my head in the sand and figure out what the fuck was going on. And unsurprisingly, I had actually been baited. Sorry if I seem a little distracted while I'm recording this video. I am planning on going for a run once this video is done. But, you know, just in case you were picking up on a certain running sheen, like a vibe that maybe I had, I don't know. Anyways, the lawsuit is a bit of bait, right? Because it is not actually a situation, in case you happen to see this on a post or a story somewhere, where Tottenham is suing Manchester United. Instead, it is a legal battle between Tottenham, the actual club Tottenham, and the company that Jim Ratcliffe owns, Ineos. Okay, and this has to do with a sponsorship, apparently, that occurred. I don't know. This is the most Daniel Levy thing that I think I've ever seen in my entire life, to be getting down into the weeds in a sponsorship like this. But it is certainly going to create a little bit of bad blood going on. This was 2 weeks ago that Tottenham Hotspurs filed a lawsuit in the High Court. Okay, they filed a lawsuit in the High Court over £17.5 million that was apparently owed to them by Ineos. So if you're wondering where all that lunch lady money is going, it's Tottenham, which is just a really depressing realization if you're a Manchester United fan, that apparently Ineos had been doing these sponsorship deals with other clubs in the Premier League. And as such, Jim Ratcliffe and his company are on the hook to pay Tottenham nearly £20 million over a couple of years. But because the unstoppable force has to not spend that money, they have tried to get out of it, and Daniel Levy has attempted to call them on it. And that's basically the situation we find ourselves in. The sponsorship itself was to promote the Ineos Grenadier as the official 4x4 vehicle partner of Tottenham Hotspur. So if you ever wondered how much money that sort of shit costs, apparently a $17.5 million deal, £1 million deal over like 3 or 4 years is the going rate to be the official 4x4 vehicle partner of Tottenham Hotspur. Now, the club, they're claiming that Ineos under Jim Ratcliffe did not pay the annual installment, which is about £5 million, according to the Telegraph here, on December 1st, as well as £500,000 as some sort of inflation-adjusted thing. Spurs then claim that they terminated the contract, right? I realize we're getting kind of deep in the legalese here, but it's always nice to go beyond the clickbait headlines, right? They terminated the contract on March 11th as a result of Manchester United not paying, and now they are suing for over £5 million in damages, right? And based off the number of lunch ladies and other people that have been fired, a lot of that do-goodness at Manchester United might disappear when $5 million more goes flying out of Ineos, right? Maybe that's how they're covering the cost of a potential loss in this lawsuit. Who knows? There were 2 years left to run on the deal, right? They're claiming damages over $5 million to try and pay off those 2 years that are left on the deal as well. Now, Manchester United's response, okay, is that we had a contractual right to terminate our partnership contract, and in December 2024, we exercised that right. I'm not buying it. Because if there's one of these two people, right, Jim Ratcliffe or Daniel Levy, neither of whom I have ever met or interacted with, fucking obviously, right? If there's one of these two people I expect to be a stickler for the rules, I'm going to go Daniel Levy. This is a guy that I feel like really personally reads all of the contracts that the club signs, knows the ins and outs. Well, Jim Ratcliffe, in particularly his time at Manchester United, but also his time at other clubs, seems to be a guy that's willing to push the bound, seems to be a guy that's willing to find the loophole to try and pressure the city to pay for something, to try. He manipulates these things a little bit more. Not that that's necessarily always a bad thing. I'm sure there are sometimes Tottenham fans wish Daniel Levy would push a few more of those buttons. But the idea that Ineos under Jim Ratcliffe basically canceled the contract and Tottenham is trying to chase them down anyways does not hold a lot of water for me. Okay, but Ratcliffe's firm did talk to Telegraph, who wrote this article, and gave more context. So maybe we'll learn something there. Like any business, we have to be diligent in how we operate and how we invest marketing budgets. It's completely normal for partnerships to be reviewed on a regular basis, and we've decided that the partnership wasn't working out for us. We have the right to terminate that partnership. Spurs' claim was lodged less than a month after they beat Radcliffe's United in the Europa League final to secure a place in the Champions League. Tottenham and Ineos have been in partnership since 2020. The petrochemicals company was named as the club's official hand sanitizer supplier. I am curious, independent from this pissing contest between billionaires that's going on, right, that I'm talking about. How many official somethings exist for a club? Like, if we're being entirely realistic, what is the amount of competition to be named the official Tottenham hand sanitizer sponsor? Like, there's no way that this is actually a bidding war going on. You're just trying to sponsor the club in some way, right? I love the idea of every hand sanitizer company just battling tooth and nail to try to get itself to be Tottenham's hand. Do all Premier League clubs even have a hand sanitizer sponsor? Is Brighton just up for grabs? Can I give them $1 and be the official hand sanitizer sponsor? Can I be the official Zealand sponsor of all 20 clubs? I feel like that I might be onto something. If you sponsor this stream, this video, what am I doing? I don't even know. I'm hallucinating. I'm recording a YouTube video. If you sponsor this YouTube video, if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, would I be able to slap the Zealandism logo on every single Premier League jersey in microscopic font for $1? Because there's no competition for the Zealandism sponsor of every club. Have we gone too far down this rabbit hole? Yes. Am I onto something? Also, yes. Also, yes. But back to this actual lawsuit. I just wanted you to know, don't get baited. They're going to try to bait you. Tottenham and Manchester United are in a lawsuit. No, it's Tottenham against Ineos, the company owned by Jim Ratcliffe. And while it is funny to keep an eye on how stupid this shit-slinging contest is undoubtedly going to get over 5 or 10 million pounds, the biggest impact will be on Tottenham's ability to spend, which they're not going to do anyways. So I guess it's kind of a moot point. And I joke about the money from the cut staff at Manchester United funding, this payment to Tottenham, but the issue with finances at Manchester United is not how much money Jim Ratcliffe has, it's how much money the club itself is intaking and how that relates to FFP, which this has nothing to do with it. So it's just maybe $10 million that'll be able to go to Tottenham Hotspur if they win this, and then they'll invest that in some youth academy or just pocket it or whatever the hell they want to do. But yeah, Jim Ratcliffe stays losing. It seems like he's now getting bullied in a lawsuit by Daniel Levy from Tottenham, which honestly, is that not just, it's adding insult to injury. This article even pointed it out. This is just rubbing your nose in it. Yeah, we beat you in the Europa League final. Here's a lawsuit because you owe us money. Or maybe you just forgot to tell us you were canceling a contract when you canceled it, which that didn't happen. That's not how this happened.